Right friends, welcome back to revision class. This is 23rd session and I may not be able to highlight because of the problem with this system. So, I would like to teach without highlighting this class as well as Q&A also because of the problem with this instrument. And today I am taking international organizations or treaties and some may be left over, we will take in the next class. Let us look at World Bank Group. World Bank Group is basically constitutes 5 institutions. Out of 5 institutions, this International Bank for Reconstruction and Development as well as IDA, these two are World Bank, and World Bank Group constitutes 5 institutions. And if you look at IBRD, it is for giving long duration loans to the developing countries. Main purpose is reduction of poverty. I am talking about IBRD, and this is the wing of World Bank. World Bank means IBRD and IDA, and World Bank Group includes all the institutions. This is the differentiation, do not forget. And the role of IBRD is to focus on social and economic development. Then IDA, this was established in 1960 to look at the poorest of the poor countries, and it gives longer maturity loans with very low interest rates. So, in the World Bank Group, if someone is talking about the organization which gives soft loans, that is to the poorest of the poor countries, that is IDA, please do not forget. And IFC, here the World Bank strongly feels that private sector development is essential for the development of developing countries. Keeping that in mind, it advises companies, governments in making decisions to have impact on society. It provides loans to business and private sector projects. So, the organization here is International Finance Corporation or IFC. You can say this is the development finance institution. So, the development finance institution of World Bank is IFC, please do not forget. MIGA. So, here political and non-commercial risks will be there. So, to take care of this political and non-commercial risks. Commercial risks no one can bear, but non-commercial risks as well as political risks in developing countries, this is the organization, that is MIGA, right. Then ICSID, here to provide facilities for reconciliation and arbitration of international investment disputes. So, to look at arbitration of international investment disputes, this ICSID is intended. And please do not forget, India is not a member of ICSID, this is very important. India is not a member of ICSID and it is the member of other 4 organs, right. Then let us look at IMF. IMF main role is to foster global monetary cooperation and it is securing financial stability. If any country has got a balance of payments problems, because nowadays international trade is essential, if any country has got balance of payments problem, then IMF is the organization which looks at it, and this is headquartered in Geneva. Then 4 main agreements I discussed number of times. What is GATT, what is GATS, what is TRIPS, what is TRIMS. These are 4 foundational agreements, please go through this. Then these 3 duties, quite often we come across: anti-dumping duty, countervailing or anti-subsidy duty, safeguard duty, under what circumstances countries can impose these duties. And please do not forget, when genuine reason is there, these 3 are WTO compliant, right. So, when you are talking about WTO, please do not forget 4 foundational agreements and these 3 duties which the countries impose depending on the genuinity of the cause, right. Asian Development Bank, what is the purpose of this? The purpose of Asian Development Bank is to fight poverty in Asia and Pacific regions. that is the main purpose of establishing ADB, and headquarters I have given here, please go through it. And if you look at the shareholding of ADB, the shareholding is Japan and USA together have got shareholding of around 31% or so. Japan is around 15.5%, USA has got around 15.5% or so. So, the largest shareholders in ADB, USA and Japan, please do not forget. And AIIB, this is established with Beijing as the headquarters, and here it started with authorized capital of $100 billion, and it began operations in January 16 with 57 founding members. And if you go further, largest 3 shareholders, countries with the highest voting shares, these 2 are important from examination perspective. Headquarters is Beijing and India is member of AIIB, and here 3 largest shareholders are China, India, Russia. China is largest with 30% shareholding, and countries with highest voting shares, China 26%, India 7.5%. So, this thing please do not forget. New Development Bank of BRICS, here BRICS Bank was conceptualized by Joseph Stiglitz and Nicholas Stern, and this is expected to provide alternate finance for sustainable development and infrastructure development in emerging or developing economies. So, here initial capital is $50 billion, and here one important aspect, the difference between AIIB and NDB. NDB is BRICS Bank. The main difference is AIIB, we have seen that China has got largest shareholding, and at the same time China has got more voting rights, whereas in New Development Bank each participating country will have 1 vote and none will have veto power. Then European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, this is headquartered in London, and it was established in 1991. After the, you can say this coincided with the disintegration of USSR, and basically the purpose is to develop market oriented economics and promotion of private and entrepreneurial initiative in, you can say, East European countries and some Central European countries. Basically Eastern European countries followed the socialistic pattern, and the aim of establishing this European Bank for Reconstruction and Development is to promote market oriented economies and promotion of private and entrepreneurial initiative. African Development Bank, please understand, India is a member of African Development Fund as well as African Development Bank, and recently its meeting was held in Ahmedabad. And now let us go ahead. This is the multilateral development finance institution to contribute to the economic development and social progress of African countries, and the mission is to fight poverty and improve living conditions on the continent. NATO is quite often in the news after Donald Trump. It is intergovernmental military alliance. The number of countries at present are 29, and it is intergovernmental military alliance. And one important point, please do not forget, Article 5 of North Atlantic Treaty, this requires member countries to come to the aid of any member when it is attacked. So, when any country is attacked, then it will come to the aid of that particular country. This is Article 5 of North Atlantic Treaty. Second point is, it is the system of collective defense. So, collective defense, Article 5, these things pertain to NATO. Please do not forget, what is the meaning of collective defense? Collective defense means its member states agree for mutual defense. Now, Donald Trump says for collective defense you have to pay your share. The countries are not paying their share, and most of the burden is felt by United States of America for collective defense. So, now the issue is into focus because of Donald Trump. So, Article 5 as well as collective defense, these things do not forget. and at the same time from examination perspective, now UK is invoking, or you can say invoked, Article 50 of Lisbon Treaty to come out of European Union. UK invoked Article 50 to come out of European Union. So, this one please do not forget, Article 50 is of Lisbon Treaty. Then one more thing, Panglong Peace Conference is being held in Myanmar to bring all the ethnic groups onto the mainstream. And when somebody is talking about a pacifist constitution, that is Japan. So, these things we discussed previously. So, from examination perspective, this collective defense, then triggering Article 50 of Lisbon Treaty to come out of European Union, then Panglong Peace Conference in Myanmar. These are very important from examination perspective. Then European Union, and here European Union has got 28 countries and 19 countries are part of single currency Eurozone. Please do not forget, European Union has got its parliament which elects every 5 years. And another important aspect is Maastricht Treaty. Maastricht Treaty 1992. That means through Maastricht Treaty 1992, European Union was formed on 1st November 1993. So, we discussed all these things, European Economic Community of 1957 through the Treaty of Rome, and ultimately this Maastricht Treaty which formed European Union, and at the same time it is followed by now Lisbon Treaty. Lisbon Treaty talks about governance standards. Right, and here Maastricht Treaty, as I have already told you, it created European Union, and at the same time it led to the creation of single currency Euro. This is the map of European Union countries. So, this out of this European Union countries, 19 are of Eurozone, as I have already told you. And now people are talking about this strategic partnership, alliance and union. From examination perspective, please see, strategic partnership is if the country is having relation with other countries in terms of security, defense, counter-terrorism, cyber security. So, if both the countries are able to go ahead in all these things, then you can say strategic partnership. And at the same time, NATO is example of military alliance. And if you look at union, European Union, Eurozone, these are examples of union. So, how the merger takes place, I have given in this chart, please go through it. Then if you look at it, Maastricht Treaty, as I have already told you, introduced Euro, and another concept, please do not forget, Schengen Zone. Schengen Zone is, you can say, you can move from one place to other place with single visa, right. Then Paris Climate Treaty. I am not going to deliberate much on this, but one important point is how the treaty came into force. That is relevant question. That treaty comes into force when 55 countries ratify, and that should constitute 55% of total emissions. 55 countries have to ratify, and at the same time that should constitute 55% of total emissions. So, that case that was fulfilled, and subsequently this came into force last year. So, within 30 days of fulfilling this condition, this treaty comes into force. Already it came into force last year, right. So, as far as emissions are concerned, China is the largest emitter, USA second, India third, right. These things do not forget. If you look at per capita emissions, USA stands at the top. Then G20 was founded in 1999, and please do not forget, European Union is member in it, India is member. It consists of developed countries, developing countries along with European Union, and now the summits are being held at head of government level, and on behalf of head of government in other meetings, India represented by Sherpa, please do not forget. And what is the purpose? The purpose is to study, review, promote high level discussion on policy issues pertaining to international financial stability. Please do not forget, the G20 purpose is to promote international financial stability, and India is also member of G20, right friends. Look at the next one. International Seabed Authority is into the news because of India's this polymetallic nodules. India is into the exploration of this, or you can say India is going to explore about this polymetallic nodules in Indian Ocean region, and this International Seabed Authority comes into picture when something is to be done in international waters beyond 200 nautical miles in international waters. The purpose of International Seabed Authority is to organize and control all mineral related activities in the international seabed area beyond the national jurisdictions, right. So, this is about International Seabed Authority, and at the same time do not forget India's this polymetallic nodules exploration in Indian Ocean region. Then International North-South Transport Corridor. You see the present route is indicated through these white dots, and in future this will be through this red line, right. So, the distance will be reduced, and you see this was conceptualized at St. Petersburg 17 years ago, initially by Iran, India and Russia, subsequently extended to 11 member states, and this is the corridor which involve ship, rail and road route involving freight between India, Russia, Iran, Europe and Central Asia, and this is not taking off on the expected lines. This is International North-South Transport Corridor. Shanghai Cooperation Organization, this is Eurasian political, economic and military organization. It consists of China, Russia, please do not forget about these two countries, China and Russia. At the same time, 4 Central Asian countries. Central Asia has got 5 countries, but remove Turkmenistan. If you exclude Turkmenistan, 4 Central Asian countries along with Russia, China, these are the members of SCO, and India and Pakistan are going to join. It will become total 8 members. You may have a doubt, what is the purpose of this? It is Eurasian Economic and Military Organization, right. So, summit is going to be held in Astana shortly, next week probably. Our Prime Minister is going to attend it. So, this Shanghai Cooperation Organization, please do not forget, right. Then this is the map, India and Pakistan are going to join. So, members from examination perspective, please remember G77, actually at present G77 members are more than 77. What is the purpose? G77 is the grouping of United Nations countries, and this was founded in 1964 with a joint declaration of 77 countries, and now the membership is to around 134 or so. What is the purpose? The purpose is to promote collective economic interests of developing countries in the United Nations. So, to promote collective economic interests of developing countries, this G77 grouping is formulated. Trans-Pacific Partnership. Now, Donald Trump said that he is withdrawing from TPP. TPP is basically to cut trade tariffs and sets common standards in trade for 12 Pacific Rim countries. Please look into this map. These 12 countries are Pacific Rim countries, but now USA decided to withdraw from this TPP, right? And I have given here what is the purpose of this TPP, please go through it, and why it became so controversial. I have given the details here, please go through it. If you are interested in this, please go through this, why it became so controversial. Then nuclear suppliers insurance policy. It will address the third party insurance, third party liability insurance under Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act or CL&D Act 2010 to satisfy that. India started this India Nuclear Insurance Pool, rupees 1500 crore. India Nuclear Insurance Pool is created with the GICRE, other non-life insurance. They came together to start this India Nuclear Insurance policy. Please don't forget. And when we are talking about operator, supplier, you should have the difference in the nuclear parlance. This operator who operates the nuclear power plants, supplier who supplies either fuel or equipment. Why I have taken these two terms is in the context of understanding this nuclear insurance pool. Then nuclear suppliers insurance policy was unveiled. Country's first nuclear suppliers insurance policy was unveiled subsequent to the creation of India Nuclear Insurance Pool. Please don't forget. Look at the next one. This is RCEP. Trade negotiations are going on. India is member of RCEP but not member of TPP. Please understand this RCEP, 10 Asian countries, Australia, New Zealand, then Japan, then South Korea, India, China. So, these 16 countries form regional comprehensive economic partnership. Now, it appears that China's dominance will be inevitable in view of pulling out of Donald Trump from TPP. Then CCA MLR, this is very important from examination perspective. India is a member of CCA MLR, this is also very important. CCA MLR stands for Commission for Conservation of Antarctic Marine Living Resources. It has 24 nations and European Union as its members. India is a member of CCA MLR. What is the purpose? The purpose is to look at conservation of Antarctic marine living resources. What is meant by marine protected area? Where certain activities are limited or prohibited. Ross Sea was declared as a marine protected area. In its meeting of CCA MLR, the decision was taken. So, CCA MLR is very important from examination perspective. At the same time, Ross Sea, please don't forget, we already discussed about Ross Sea. International Criminal Court, this is different from ICJ. So, you have to differentiate between both. International Criminal Court is based in The Hague. Similarly, ICJ is also based in The Hague. And this is established based on Rome Statute. And India is not a member of ICC, please understand. India is not a member of ICC. At present, there are 124 states or so, and which are party to Rome Statute. And the biggest problem with this ICC is African countries are not happy, right? So, it is to prosecute individuals for the international crimes of genocide, crimes against humanity and war crimes. ICJ, it is the judicial branch of United Nations. Countries can take their problems to ICJ, but not individuals. Please understand, individuals, companies, they cannot approach International Court of Justice. Only it can be approached by the countries. That is why Kulbhushan Jadhav case was approached by India, right. So, here Article 94 says that the duty of all United Nations members to comply with the decisions of the court involving them. If parties do not comply, the issue may be taken before the Security Council for enforcement, right. It also provides advisory opinion on legal questions submitted to it by the duly authorized international branches, agencies and UN General Assembly, right. Then BIMSTEC, what is the purpose? The main objective is technological and economic cooperation among South Asian and Southeast Asian countries along the coast of Bay of Bengal. Please look into this. These are the countries. Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation, or BIMSTEC. So, please go through this. Then the next one is ASEAN. ASEAN was formed in 1967, and here it is the politico-economic grouping of 10 Southeast Asian countries. And please don't forget, as per Kuala Lumpur Declaration, this ASEAN Economic Community was formulated, right. And these are ASEAN countries, and out of ASEAN countries, one group 4 underdeveloped countries are there. These are CLMV countries, and when you look at CLMV countries, India developed Project Development Fund with a corpus of rupees 500 crore to explore business opportunities in CLMV countries. Then East Asia Summit, this is established in 2005. Basic objective is regional peace, security and prosperity. So, to further regional peace, security and prosperity, this East Asia Summit, please look into this. This has got ASEAN as well as 8 countries. Please do not forget OECD, it is the grouping of 35 countries, founded in 1961 to stimulate economic progress and world trade. The members are normally committed to democracy and free market economy, and India is not a member of OECD. Then FATF, this is established as intergovernmental policy making body. In 1989, India is a member of this FATF. FATF, please differentiate between OECD and FATF. India is not a member of OECD and India is member of FATF. FATF is intergovernmental policy making body established in 1989 with the mandate to establish international standards for combating money laundering and terrorist financing. Right. So, here India is member of FATF, please do not forget. Right friends, let us conclude this international organizations. Probably some more definitely left over, we will look into them in the coming classes. So, please do join for Q&A within few minutes. Have a nice day, thank you.